You plug into a sub
okay.
outlet. Yeah. Anyway, we're live now.
Okay, hello everyone. Yes, there's
Hello.
my notification.
Uh, uh, Phoenix hasn't come back yet.
No, she hasn't. She
Hopefully
might
she'll come back.
Maybe something happened to something. Who knows? In any event, we are now live. And so, hey, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to the Alchemy bench.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy. Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I just
And here's
heard
Phoenix.
Oh, we can see you, Corey.
Oh, good.
Oh, that we
Oh,
have
no,
image
it's a
for you.
picture. Okay.
Here, let's try this though.
Oh,
There.
hey!
Yay! Hi. Oops.
Things are finally working once we get on air. How does that happen?
Yeah.
So,
Hi,
we have had some
everyone.
technical issues, everybody.
It's just like in the high school music theater productions. It's like where the high schoolers are crap during the rehearsals, but then once it's like finally in front of an audience, they're finally good.
No.
Phoenix, try to speak, please.
Yeah,
No, Phoenix.
no, not hearing
Nothing.
nothing. Oh, well.
Yeah, your audio is
Ugh.
supposed to be connected, but it's just like, oh well.
Yeah.
Well, so jump in whenever you want to talk, and hopefully we can hear you. Because we want to hear from you.
Yes.
So today Tom isn't here because he was old.
Yes, he did not sleep well. And perhaps some of you may have noticed we have a special guest with us. Some dude named Corey. He's down there. Right. And joining us today are some of our irregular regulars. We have Julie.
Hi, babes.
Jonathan.
Hello, comrades and potential comrades.
With some severe audio issues that we don't know what's going on, we have Phoenix. She'll probably pop up in chat every once in a while. And you can just see him over my shoulder, Sasha.
Sasha!
Sasha!
Oh, we lost Phoenix again. Maybe she's trying something.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying something.
She and her still works though.
Okay. And
I think I finally sent the video link to all of the places I wanted to. Yes. Okay.
Jonathan, you're the only one without glasses. Feel alone yet?
Freak.
No, I actually do have glasses. I just have to
shut
go
up,
and
two
grab
eyes.
But I wanted to keep to the sense of like
two eyes.
And apparently Corey is some kind of DNA theist.
Yeah, that's the shirt I'm wearing today. That's right.
So yeah, Corey, I discovered him through his now dead podcast.
Yeah, you could say it's pod-dated now.
The Brainstorm podcast. Well, no, not the Brainstorm podcast. Actually, it was the
Hardcore Skeptic.
Hardcore Skeptic. It was your interview of Dr. Christy Winters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I did listen to that interview. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Sorry. I almost spilled my very, very hot tea all over myself. That would have been funny.
Yes, Corey. Yes, Joe McClory. That's exactly it. I thought about this with my Mega Man hat on right now, and this type of mask with the color. I almost are like the Cobra Commander.
Nice.
Retreat.
Go get you some those fancy cop sunglasses, and it would definitely make the thing.
Is that an anime thing?
It's a
G.I. Joe
cartoon. G.I. Joe.
Oh boy,
the bad guy from G.I. Joe.
Okay, I know of G.I. Joe, but I
that's
don't
the one.
Know it. I never saw it.
Well, yeah, it's very American for the French kids to be watching.
Yeah, it's American military propaganda intended to sell toys. And
exactly.
No, that's because I watched Small Soldiers, which is an amazing movie, by the way.
I do like that movie. Yeah,
by Joe Dante, who made the Gremlins. If you haven't seen Small Soldiers, you have to. It was made when Pixar started to become very popular. And it's kind of a satire of Toy Story, but not really. And that movie is amazing.
It
So,
definitely took, yeah, it definitely
if
took
you
the
haven't
idea-
seen it, watch it.
It's worth a watch, definitely, because like it took the idea of like what if these soldiers were just like moving around and stuff like that, and like have like pre-programmed their own character based on like the storyline of the toys of these are the human, the enemy, and these aliens, these monsters are the ones that often hide, but yet there's the aliens that are actually the good guys, and the Tommy Lee Jones kind of like Tommy Lee Jones like sergeant character.
Yeah,
Are
nice
the bad
spoiler,
guys.
Jonathan.
I wasn't paying any attention. So
I'm
fine.
joking. That's something you learned in the like 10 first minutes.
Exactly. American military bad or military bad.
Anyway, this is a picture of Cobra Commander for Julie. Who is
Where?
In the
it's-
YouTube.
If you look in the YouTube, you can see it. You can see very similar to.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need a full face covering mask. To, like,
Just
pull
pull
it
your
off.
mask
No,
up a
you
little
don't. Stop it.
There.
There we
Now you're
go.
Cobra Commander.
Mhm. I can still see as well.
All right.
So hi chat.
Hello there, everyone.
Mm.
If I look at the camera instead of looking at my screen, it's better.
Mhm. So welcome to another week. It's the weekend, but if we had come to Revolution, every day would be the weekend, which we're all working for. How's everyone?
Combining every single possible whatchamacallit there? Motto thing,
Creed.
opener.
Try to be a little professional. I don't know. We also don't have
No,
the song for it.
that's bad.
But let's also
Honestly, Jonathan, I can't understand shit of what you say with that mask. It's hard enough following you when you don't have it on
All right, I'll take it
because
off.
you talk fast.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do talk fast, but I want to like keep this a secret until it's like more like fold in and stuff like that.
It's very nice.
Thank you.
It's okay, Phoenix. We're sad that you can't join
Mhm.
us, but
It is
you
yeah,
can't.
it's okay.
I don't know what I want to say. Don't mind me. I just used an insane amount of spoon to make myself look human. Babes, I put some fucking makeup on. I swear.
I didn't. I have it next to me, but no,
I
haven't.
didn't.
I shaved last night. That's something. I put human. I made myself try to look human.
Okay. And let's see. You can't hear it, but the chat will be able to. I'll go ahead and make it so that you guys can hear as well.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Sasha.
No, not Sasha. It's going to be our intro music.
Oh God. What? Oh God.
Nice.
Farting Around by Kevin McLeod at Incompetech.com.
Okay, I approve.
This is a podcast for very mature adults, and stuff like that. But let's also, while we're still in the podcast portion of it, which would be the first hour, this also thank our patrons as well.
Yes.
Since, like, these are trying times, and the fact that the people are still willing to give us money for just to cover the cost of like the
Especially for the content we put out. I mean, you rock. You really rock.
You decided to give us money when all we do is just sit around in front of like webcams and microphones and just chat
Literally
about
just
whatever.
farting around.
And we're just farting around.
So thank you to Eli and Holden and Squirrel and brand new patron Tim.
Really?
Yes.
Yes. And that is the Tim that was
Team Itaki?
yes, Itaki teacher. The
Thank
Ashen
you,
Knight.
Tim. It's Canadian too, Corey.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Do you know him?
He doesn't have an accent like you.
He does know French though. I
So
think he
you
does.
probably know Tim. mean, you're both
Yeah.
Because you're both Canadian, but like,
Yeah, that's right.
but the Canadian thing, Tim would actually literally do the Canadian thing where people just mention Star Trek, William Shatner,
Thank you,
and Tim would
Tim.
go, yeah, he's Canadian.
And so, Corey, do you actually understand when your partner speaks French?
No. no, I have no idea.
The other day on their page, do you want to plug your very new YouTube channel and your Facebook page?
Sure. It's I guess it's, what is it, facebook.com/feministfamily, or
It
the
also has the
Feminist Family.
YouTube channel, and I'm going to put the link of the YouTube channel, the Feminist Family, into the live chat right now, since you do have like 2 videos up of it.
Yeah, so on the page, they did on Facebook, they did a little video to present the channel, and she's talking French for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Facebook.
And I stand there very nicely.
She has a Quebec accent. I know. You said you wouldn't
Julie
tell her.
insists that Quebecois don't actually speak French. They speak something that's not French, according to her.
But they
Yeah,
know,
that's what
they
Pam said as
insist.
well.
They insist they don't speak French either, so I'm respecting that. I mean, I speak French and I don't understand when they talk, so they don't speak French. Sometimes I exaggerate a little for comical effect.
Yeah, that's Pam's from Burundi, so they were colonized by France back in the day, and so everybody there speaks French. And yeah, I guess the way it was drilled into their
France
heads.
or Belgium?
I guess they were colonized by France, but then they were like, Belgium got really involved with them somewhere along the line. So,
Oh God.
Back at the
I mean,
core of the
fucking
Belgish
Belgium,
Empire.
that country never did anything, and they managed to colonize some African countries. That's no offense if any Belgian listen to us. Your people are amazing compared to French people. Really, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But I mean, historically, you weren't really on the conquest thing. But colonization, fuck yeah. Okay.
So they didn't do as much bad, but they still do bad as well.
yeah, it sounds
I
like
don't know
they've
what they
got,
did in Congo was pretty horrible. I mean, it wasn't on the same scale as other European countries, I guess. But
Jordan's
it wasn't
here.
less awful.
Hello, Jordan. And Demon's here as well.
Mhm.
So hello to everyone in the chat.
Yes,
And
hi
Bethel.
everyone.
Everybody's
Sorry,
here.
we don't pay as much attention to you when we have a guest, but you understand. Do you have the watch link, Corey, to read the chat if you want to?
I can give it to you in the Zoom
sure.
chat. And so you can be just as distracted as us as we are. So there's the watch.
Yeah,
link in the
because
Zoom
we
chat.
we
We
read the
are
live
consummate
chat.
professionals.
So
Well, also, if we do not pay attention to the live chat, there will be like one person in the live chat that will get like,
yeah,
"Oh my god!"
if I don't insult David from time to time, he's going to be
There we go.
upset. So
He'll
fuck
get
you,
uppity.
David. I don't even know if he's here.
He is
He
here.
is.
You know that he's here because when you said, "Hey Joe, David did what I would exactly do," where are you going with that gun in your hand?
Do 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 do. That was nice.
Yeah.
I forgot he said that. That's true.
And
I almost told him to shut up, but that song is too good.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix is too good. Wasn't what's now the Democratic Republic of the Congo private property of King Leopold II? Question from Lefto Satsak from the live chat.
Yeah, that's basically
Mhm.
what it was.
Mm.
But also,
Despite the best efforts of the CIA.
Yeah.
I don't think the CIA existed at the time.
King
No, they tried to
Leopold
keep it Belgian back in the 60s.
Oh, okay. What does the CIA do? I mean, it's like I'm sure they serve the America's interest, but from what I've known,
No, not America's interest. Some
Right.
people in America's interest.
exactly. Oh, like the
But
United.
that's what was all of colonized Africa to all European countries that
Yeah.
colonized them. I mean,
Mhm.
every time we talk about that, I say that, but decolonized countries that decolonized from France still pay us a tax.
Yep.
So, and there's not a whole lot of people in France fighting for it to end.
Yeah.
Or even talking about it,
Yeah.
And do they know it? Because we don't learn that in history class, I guarantee you.
Hell, I don't know of what America's done in like South America until it became a leftist. Because wow, we put in Pinochet. Wow, we put in Pol Pot. Wow, we did that to Guatemala. We did that to oh man,
fucked up Argentina
Iran.
and Brazil.
Oh my God,
and
Iran.
Chile.
Iran, yeah.
That's the most infuriating to me because Iran was a fucking amazing country before. Before you fucked up with it.
Yeah, from what I see
Afghanistan.
From and
Vietnam.
Afghanistan, yeah, Vietnam, yeah. We kind of know of our end of Vietnam, and there's the whole thing. Oh yeah, that's right. The Renegade cut video of Rambo, the First Blood, how it's it goes into how there was no really prisoner of war. Richard Nixon kind of created propaganda so that we can support the soldiers, which they weren't treated well when they came back, and they done horrible things at the orders of the American Empire. But we don't call it an American Empire. That's how we have the good PR for it.
No, it's liberation. We go and we liberate them and let them sell us their oil at very reasonable prices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Lefto. That Lefto is talking about Tintin. Tintin.
Yes. Yeah.
In the Congo was meant to be a justification on continuing the Belgian occupation of Congo. Yeah, that's one of the most racist comics I have ever read in my life.
Sasha, everyone quiet. There's a cat on the screen.
Yeah, he's prettier than you, John. I'm sorry, but
oh no shit.
He knows that.
Oh, look at those eyes. He's so pretty, that kitty. Remember when he had no tail left?
Yeah.
Corey, just so you know, John found that cat.
Somebody abandoned him outside a pizza place, and
and
very
his
bad
tail
injury
was,
on his tail.
Yeah, he was about to lose it.
He was missing the skin all the way around his tail for about an inch there.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's eating John.
Yes, actually.
Let's see. You can just see the latest bit of injury there.
God.
Oh yeah.
Have you bought him wand tools yet?
I have ribbon. I've been playing with that with him.
No, not a fucking ribbon.
No,
don't think that look like a fishing rod with a fake bird at the end.
And he has a cat tree. He's got lots of toys, and I play with him. But
you just also play with him with your hands.
He'd rather eat your hand, okay?
So Corey.
Since you're a skeptic, I guess we could talk about related topics.
Well, also you're a Canadian, so you can be an outsider's perspective on what the whole world sometimes focuses on of what happens in America as well. Because
fuck me,
It's not like you're an outsider, eh?
I talk to you every week, though.
That's true.
So Canada solved racism. Apparently, you don't have racism up there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah. Unless you're not white.
Yeah.
Wait.
Unless you're asking First Nation people.
Yeah, indigenous peoples probably have a lot to say about that.
So the feud over the Anglophones and the Francophones finally ended?
No, that is definitely still
No,
a thing.
that
Yeah.
will never end.
Yeah, our fake country here has a lot of little internal disputes all the time.
I mean, look at the relationship right now between France and England. It's still going on, so I don't see how.
Yeah.
You invaded us. Yeah. So what you've been up to?
Hi, Von Rek.
Hello, Von Rek.
Rack.
We get distracted by the chat too.
Yeah, Von Rek is a patron, so
that's true. That's true. We must pay attention to our new patrons.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't really consider France an outsider because you still have your empire. So Canada doesn't have an empire. So
Canada.
We're part of the empire.
Yes, exactly.
I know Mithril. I'm joking. Mithril is in the chat. He's from the UK, and they say, "I love France." Sad emoji. Well, sad emoji first, but
Canada is run by an evil Disney prince. That sounds about right.
oh my God, that's exactly what Trudeau is. He looks like a Disney prince.
Which one? That's like, does he look like the one from Frozen?
No, he just looks like a generic white guy.
A generic pretty boy white guy.
Oh yeah.
Which is what you get in Disney.
Yeah.
Except for that one movie where they had brown people.
There's actually 2 movies with brown people with Moana now.
Yes, that was a good movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I like Disney movies.
I do too.
I'm a little ashamed of liking Disney movies, but
right, because this is the evil empire.
Yeah, basic.
No, because most of them, the songs are shite.
There is that.
I mean, I can't watch Aladdin anymore. That blue dream, blue thingy, I can't. No, the song of the Jasmine and Aladdin, that hopeful. Na, nya, nya, nya.
A whole new world.
Yes, thank you. In French, the title is A Blue Dream. Because I guess the syllables are good for the song. I quite like the songs in Frozen, Moana, and the Princess and the Frog. Very jazzy. Hercules has some fucking good songs too. Very R&B. Some Disney movies are pretty good on that front. I like Mulan too.
I do like Mulan. And we were about to get one, but then the world did a thing. But we'll eventually get Mulan. But yeah.
What?
We'll eventually get the live action version of Mulan.
Yeah, I really don't care about Disney live action, so I'm not heartbroken over it.
Yeah, did you watch the live action Aladdin one? Or...
No.
Once upon a time, made Mulan gay.
Yeah, that Mulan is very homoerotic, the cartoon, and I mean they don't want that
and stuff like that.
They don't want that in the live action movie. So if you're gonna take the gay out of it, China is a fucking excuse.
True, exactly. It's not
Chinese people they know what gay people are. They exist in China, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I have no idea what the Chinese government's official position.
Other issues. They don't give a shit about the gays.
The Chinese government is concerned with their own over their own empire and their own foothold in like the world economy.
Yeah, they don't care about gay people. I mean, I understand why they didn't want to put someone Tibetan in Doctor Strange because of China. That makes sense. But they don't want the gay in Mulan because of China. It doesn't make sense at all. they don't give a shit.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say they are progressive on that issue, but they aren't bigots either. I think they have other shit to what's the word? Worry
about?
So Corey, like, how it's been like you like handling the like lockdown, the quarantine, and stuff like that.
I I'm going crazy, honestly.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry that you lost your job.
Yeah, that is yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's rough,
sucks.
but I guess if things get anywhere near normal again, then they'll be hiring us all back. But I'm not entirely sure I want that. So I would like things to change a little bit.
kind
because-
One work in the oil field and just like
you're kind of over the trucking life.
Well, it's yeah, it's kind of like I don't know. The oil field is a very strange place to work, especially like as a kind of a progressive person or a leftist. Like it's
Yeah.
Well, now that you have a lot more free time, you can go
care
out
about
and
the First
protest the
Nations
pipeline.
people, and there's that whole pipeline thing.
Free
You can go
time.
blow up trains.
There's a toddler and two teenagers at home. There's no free time there.
yeah, we got 4 kids here. And, yeah.
That toddler is too cute for the
Oh,
world.
she's adorable. Unless she's also a bit of a terrorist, though.
So take her with you
Well-
to blow up the trains.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
The position of Sasha in the background is just amazing. Is he grooming?
What's that? Yes, he's grooming.
Oh, okay. For a minute there, I thought he was just chilling, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, he's licking his stomach.
Good boy. Do you have pets, Corey?
Yeah, we have a cat.
Okay.
It's she's less than a year old still, so
Oh,
I
it's a
think
kitten.
she's almost 6 months. Yeah, she's still just little and just
Yay.
like wild.
Yeah. That's going to
The typical
last
male feminist
at
thing
least
to
5
do.
years. The wildness is going to last 5 years.
No, geez. I keep telling my partner that, hey, it'll slow down. When the kitten gets older, she'll slow down. But 5
Yeah,
years is a long
in 5
time.
years, yeah.
Yeah, Sasha's about a year old now, I think.
Yeah, Sasha is a teenager, so
Mhm.
you know what's a teenager, Corey.
Yeah, lots of sleeping. They talk back a lot.
Yeah. Has Pamela gotten some "You're not my real mom" yet
No, my kids
from
here,
the teens? Because teens do that. I know
They
I
do.
did. So
What are
Yeah.
you talking about? Jonathan and I do that.
Oh God! I have to like take out the trash.
Jonathan and John are always telling me I'm not their real mom
Because you're not a real mom.
because I'm
You can't
always
tell me what to do.
bossing
We
them
lost
around.
Jonathan.
Oh,
Oh no.
I think he hopped out because his video was frozen. Or maybe his
Oh,
video
okay.
being frozen is a symptom of the thing that caused him to drop out. Who knows?
Yeah, no, my kids are actually. I talk about them as though they're typical teenagers, but they're pretty good kids. I can't complain.
Most
yeah, so they're
teenagers
not
are not
typical
good.
teenagers then.
Yeah, yeah.
One of the main reason I never wanted to have kids was teenagers.
Yeah, when they were when they were little, that was the time I was looking forward to. Like, okay, they can take care of themselves. You can basically just leave them to do their own thing, and you don't have to. I can have a life again.
Or not.
But yeah, it's not always quite that simple.
Phoenix says my mom likes to tell me basically I need Jesus. Leto is nothing like my real mom. Yeah, no, you don't need. Actually, you're a witch, so you really don't need Jesus. Phoenix is a pagan, so
Ah,
she
cool.
doesn't need Jesus.
Nope, definitely not. I don't really think anybody needs Jesus.
The Christian right in the US needs Jesus.
Needs
I
communist
think.
Jesus.
They didn't
Well,
need communist Jesus.
is there another kind of Jesus? He was a fucking commie.
Well, according to the Christian right, there's fascist Jesus.
I don't care about the Christian right. Historically, the guy assaulted bankers at the temple, for fuck's sake. Physically assaulted them. He was cool. Jesus was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not white.
Yes,
Definitely not white.
Jesus was the first case of whitewashing happening. Which still happens sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
Sasha
whitewashing.
has noticed something out the window.
Yes.
That's a significant part of why I moved my bed where I did, so he could sit on my bed and look out the window.
Cat TV.
Because there are birds
that
will
cat
come
TV,
right up to the window.
Lefto says some random geek's human statue was impressive.
My internet is shit again, and so I froze in place. I don't know what's wrong with my internet, and I don't know how to avoid to fix it. I can use my phone for a hotspot and use my data, but I don't think it will make much of a difference. I just have to pray that I'm connected again.
That's a very surprising shirt, Jonathan.
Oh, yes. Spanish Inquisition, expected by nobody since 1970.
What the fuck?
It's a reference to Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Oh.
Because nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
But... yeah.
She doesn't like Monty Python anymore.
No, I don't. And also, the Spanish Inquisition wasn't in 1970.
But
that's when the skit came in.
That's the skit.
Yes, I know, but...
So if you know, then why correct us then?
That's not... Oh, fuck
it. So we live in bizarre world because just bit of the news. I read the headline and I thought, oh, this is funny. This must be the hardest time of the Onion. And I checked. It's like, oh no, that is real.
Oh God.
Donald Trump.
What has he done again?
He hired Vince McMahon to be part of his cabinet to restart the economy. And that's where it's like, I like Captain Anthony, what he said on Facebook. World, stop! I want off.
Like the guy from the wrestling thing?
Yes, the WWE.
The intergalactical assholes
yes!
From the WWE? Okay.
Yes.
Somebody just joined us.
Hello, Wesley.
You have too many pets. You have to give them to me.
He only has 2.
Yes.
He used to have 3.
He has to give them to me. No, yeah, I need another cat. That's I'm ready. Yeah, Corey, I lost my cat in December.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on your Facebook page.
The old boy. 18 years.
It's a pretty good life.
To brace for more cats than she's expecting. Well, actually, their life expectancy is about 20. So we always think cats live as old as dogs, but they live longer. John, what have you done?
That is Torquemada.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I would be pissed too if I had that haircut.
He did it to himself. All right.
Anyway.
So yeah, do you miss the gang, Corey, or are you still?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. My life kind of fell apart last year, so that's why we stopped doing the show. And then we haven't been together much even before the quarantine, so
Yeah.
definitely missed them.
I miss Dave.
The always amazing Dave on sound.
Yeah, his health was that's right.
He's not
the always amazing Dave.
He's not well.
He was having some health issues. I'm not sure if things are looking up now. So when the social isolation happened, he had to really lock down way ahead of and way more than other people. But and he seems to be doing okay now. He's got his own podcast.
If he was immunocompromised, you have to.
What's his podcast? What's the podcast that the Always Amazing Dave does?
The Pandemic People podcast.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. All right, gotta look that up.
Nice. Yeah, that I miss your podcast, I have to say. I used to listen to it a lot.
I'm still listening to it right now. It's just like have it in my rotation.
In my insomnia. No, but I like listening to the live shows. When
I listen. Yeah, you would sometimes mention something and cause the entire crew to just laugh.
Yeah, I like to clown in the chat.
Yeah, you were our single person sometimes in the live chat, so that was good.
No, there was always what's his name? He was sometimes on your show. Dan?
Oh, yeah, Dan.
He was often in the chat. And Dave always talked with me in the chat. So
yeah.
Sometimes I had to refrain myself to tell Lisa to stop her bullshit when it was about Harris or stuff like that.
You mean the cop?
Yeah, Sam Harris.
No, not the cop. Sam Harris. She likes his podcast because she likes his voice.
He does have a good voice, but just
just says a piece of shit. So
yes, he's not a good.
I guess she's not on the Harris bandwagon now, is she? I'm
not sure. I haven't heard her speak of him much lately, but
yeah. Well, he's keeping a low profile, which is nice for everyone.
Oh, he quit Patreon and protests.
Oh, him too.
Yeah. That was Sam Harris. He did that in response to Soccer on the Cob being kicked off at Patreon.
There's a YouTuber I used to follow, a musician. Oh, decided. Mike? Yes.
Oh yeah.
No, Become the Night.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, who did the same, who left Patreon in protest. And he was sure to say, I really don't agree with this man's views, but blah, 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 blah. If you're leaving some company in protest for them booting someone who harassed a rape survivor, I'm sorry. Honestly, I have no sympathy for. So I unsubscribed and Mike the Music Snob. That's right, Mylene. We have the same taste. Yeah, Mike the Music Snob is a prog metal musician. That's why I used to follow him, because that's my shtick. And so I stopped. So that's a good thing that we don't hear too much from Harris, though.
He's a piece of shit in every single way.
No, but after the eugenics thing from Dawkins.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of that, Corey?
Yeah, it was kind of a. I don't know what the hell he was thinking.
Well, it's talking. He was thinking about being talked about. Probably.
Yeah.
He's really struggling to stay relevant. So.
Mhm.
Or
Hello,
maybe he's just a
Mehmet.
rich old white man who thinks that maybe eugenics is a good thing.
Mhm.
Mehmet.
What's with the Mighty Panther and evil vacuum pigs? What?
He's talking about the picture rotation on YouTube, I think.
Okay.
Oh,
Mighty
about
Panther would be Sasha, and the evil vacuum
Yes.
would be the first time he encountered a vacuum cleaner. Before
Oh,
he
God.
knew to fear it.
I'm always amazed when I see videos of people vacuuming their cats. Like they probably have super silent vacuums, but still. Hi, Mehmet.
Mehmet's a friend who have like appeared on like our podcast a couple of times. Like he was on 2 weeks ago, totally drunk.
That's
Wait.
awesome.
That's his usual state. So
It was also like 11 p.m. on a Saturday night as well when he joined us. So
yeah, he's from Turkey, so when he's 2 hours ahead of me. So
he saw like Wesley the dog, John Brock's dog, and he goes, "Oh my god, I love that dog! I would die for him."
yeah, look look on YouTube when you have the chance, Mehmet. Cat vacuuming or stuff like that. Don't be sorry, we love you, and you're funny. You talk too much, but that's okay. I do too.
Yeah, I can go on and on too. So I have to like to stop myself and let the others talk.
That's why I said to Marty on last time I was on her stream that I'm not calling her ever. we're going to talk until 5 a.m. honestly.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah, we talked for 7 hours. Just sit there and talk. Don't worry, audience.
That was nice though.
But we're not going to do that here because eventually John Brockman would have to eat, so he had to like cut the stream and cut the like thing anyway. We're not going to
like you don't have to eat. Fuck off, David. Can you put David on timeout, John?
No, I'm going to let him talk.
No, put him on timeout.
Well, if we all shut up, then we wouldn't have like an audio podcast to distribute. I guess that would give Corey the chance to talk.
Is there something you want to talk about, Corey? A subject you'd like to talk about, or you have the right to say no?
I got nothing. I got nothing prepared.
Are you an anarchist of any kind, Corey?
I do consider myself an anarcho-communist. So
okay, yeah, that's pretty much all of us here. I'm just like
that's why I wanted to invite him. That doesn't solve our problem of not having enough not anarchists that we can invite, because we want to make a segment that's called Questions for Anarchists.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
people who are leftists but not anarchists,
Yes.
But
we're not having liberals on or any like pro-capitalist kind of people on, like any Americans that mistake what socialism is. If they think socialism is like joining the military or something.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I should really stop going to Steve's live stream. I don't want to stop because I like him, but oh God. You need a definitions overall.
It's like Americans should not use the word socialism, communism, or capitalism because they all get it wrong.
Or liberal or conservative.
A guy wrote something about him joining the army because it was kind of socialistic. What?
Free
you know
healthcare,
what-
free college.
Do you know what socialism means? I mean,
Socialism is when the government does things, and the more stuff it does, the socialister it is.
That's right,
Communism,
yeah.
the government
right.
does everything. Socialism, the government does most things. Capitalism, the government does some things. Anarchism, no government.
This
Those
is
are
what
all
happens.
wrong.
Yeah. That's what happens when people like use a word without ever looking up what it means.
Or just like going off of what they learned from school, from their parents, from society,
TV.
from the news, from TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, socialism is Stalinism, and Stalinism is badnessism.
Because it killed 600 million people.
Mhm.
I've
It
had
started
that
World War
conversation.
II.
That's
I
right.
had that. I had that conversation with my conservative coworker. Eventually, went to the USSR, Russia.
stop talking to people, Jonathan. It's bad for your mental health. Those people.
Too late! Everyone in the company knows I'm an anarchist. Even the chairman knows. which means I shot myself in the foot and ruined the chances of me unionizing the workplace because everyone knows that. Oh, it must be Jonathan then.
Yeah. But can't convince anybody to join a union when you're the only anarchist.
Corey can relate, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tried to unionize the oil fields.
There's no way. You can't even mention the word union out there without getting like a warning.
Do you live in
Do
Alberta
you
then?
have the same demeanor
Saskatchewan.
towards unions as American does?
Oh yeah, like we've had all the anti-union
Americans do.
propaganda for so long.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, eh? No dude about it.
You hoser.
If anyone had any doubts, Corey Johnson's Canadian. It was just been confirmed right there with the oh yeah. I'm sure someone has a counter for every time.
Thanks
Like
to Corey, I realized for the first time that weird parody comes
Yeah, it's a
from
real
somewhere.
thing.
About-
It's an accent that actually exists.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, eh?
Corey can tell you all about it.
That's right.
yeah.
Also, Saskatchewan isn't Toronto, isn't it?
No, it is not.
I mean, culturally.
Yeah, like Toronto thinks it's the center of the universe. Saskatchewan thinks it doesn't really exist in the universe.
No, but isn't it? From what you said, I get the impression that Saskatchewan is pretty like, I want to say redneck, but
Yeah,
like
it's
countryside,
They're from the
Yeah.
deep north.
right
Very rural.
leaning.
very conservative. Like the last election, even our cities voted for the Conservative Party.
Mm.
That's. Is it because there are more older people, or
Yeah, I think it's a mix of that.
because
And
I know
Brown people
there's a
getting uppity.
correlation between older people. Like, okay,
Mhm.
boomer doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no,
that's right.
actually, the thing is, like, I've only seen one exit poll from the primary this year that, like, is clear that, like, if the election was determined by just people over the age of 65, easily go to Biden, no question. If the votes were decided by people under the age of 35, go to Bernie, no question. And but David Graeber, Leto's favorite anarchist thinker, he did a talk like 2 years ago, and he found the data and got the results from the UK election in 2019, and he looked at the data, but he also placed it up on a map. So if the election in the UK in 2019 was decided purely by people over the age of 65, Labour would still get some seats. We'll get a handful of seats, and some Lib Dems, some Scottish, but like it'd be mostly Tories. However, if everyone,
Excuse me, Jonathan, just 1 minute. David, when you're a Swede, you don't get to shit talk the spelling of other people. Okay, that's all.
so
Go on, Jonathan.
yes, thank you. But for the UK results, if only the people under the age of 35 voted in the UK. Tories got no seats whatsoever. It's just like Labour across the board, some Scottish and some Lib Dems and stuff like that. So it's kind of so the old adage that like, wait, when you're young, you're idealistic, you be bleeding hard liberal and you vote left. But as you grow older, you become conservative. He thinks that's no longer true now, and I think that what he's
No, I don't. I look what David wrote in the chat.
Fuck you.
And Mehmet is from Turkey, so he's
and for the podcast audience, David spelled F-O with like the two dots, the umlaut above it is C-K, and then U-O with the umlaut U, and then like, and Mehmet, who's Turkish, spelled that same way, but in the Turkish way with all those extra symbols as well.
He put an umlaut on the O, he put a Sadia on the C.
How do you call the thing under the C in English?
Sadia. Well,
okay.
that's how I've always
it's the
called
same
it
word
because...
as in French.
And Ruth is joining us. Hello,
well, that's
Ruth.
where I learned it from.
Hi, Ruth.
French.
Fuck.
So...
Okay, where that's spelling from?
Ruth, tell us. I'm an American. I don't know anything. I barely know English.
No, but I agree that me too. I have become more and more radical as I aged. I don't. But there's statistically, there's a correlation between aging populations and more conservatism. That's in the data. So
right.
it's becoming not true, but it's still true.
Well, I think David Grant thinks that the reason why it's becoming not true anymore is that it used to be where if you get a mortgage or you get a good job with room for advancement above you, then you got a stake in the system and thus become conservative because you want to keep the system as it is. That's not true anymore because the millennials have been fucked over by the 2008 and
but boomers generation is still alive, so
exactly.
As long as they haven't died out, that correlation.
In a few more years, the U.S. is going to take a hard swing in some direction.
Yes, I don't know what it's going to be.
It's not already hard. I've already hard swinged with Trump. Not that
that's why the Republicans, I think, are so desperate to ram through all their shit because it's the only way they can maintain power after their hate base dies off.
Yeah, and this been reported in the news that McConnell, it's not a secret anymore. Basically, McConnell has been calling a lot of conservative judges that are up there in age. He's asking for them to all retire so that the current Senate and current can put in more
a whole bunch of 35-year-old hard right-wing assholes.
And yes, because for the federal court systems, the courts of appeals and all those other court systems, that it's appointed by the Senate.
No, I'm not going to have it anymore with the fucking system. Cancel the US now, please. Yes. What the fuck? I don't. Oh, Ruth, look, Ruth is talking about my tats, so I'm going to show them off.
Yeah,
family friendly. Nice. This is YouTube.
That's the big one. A big one is big.
Oh, it's a big rose. It's a giant rose, isn't it?
No, there's no rose.
I don't know what I'm looking at then.
It's difficult to
just
see.
Flowers.
Just floral. It's a nice sleeve.
It's floral and some little symbols hidden.
I see the Venus symbol.
Yeah, there's a family symbol hidden here. There's a pentagram here.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes, we can see it. We can see gears
and I have the less obvious here, which is
nice.
My anarcho Masonic. It's a joke. I'm not a Freemason, but it kind of looks like a compass, so which I like. And I have my knitter tat here.
You knit so you don't kill people as that dinosaur above your.
I love that image. I'm never switching it.
Yes, everything about me is cute. Yes, I agree. Yes, my Migran hat is cute. I did not make this though.
Okay, we are running low on time for the podcast bit, so let's go ahead and dive right into fishy fashy in these last few minutes of the podcast.
All right, then.
And then we'll just be on the YouTubes.
You know you can talk, Corey. Cut me off because I
No worries.
No, but
Corey's
for real.
Canadian. He's too polite, though.
And I'm out of practice too, so.
No, but really, feel free because I am never shutting up. So
She's French.
Well, it's
All
just
right.
like on the brainstorm, but no, we're playing the game. We're playing
Yes.
Fishy Fashy Free
Fishy
Chat,
Fashy.
where John Brockman
oh,
has
it's
like
time for Fishy Fashy. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, John. I'm going to explain the rules. John Brockman has like come through like Twitter for shit takes from non-leftists. It could be liberals, could be conservatives, usually conservatives, and like he has altered one of them to be a fake one, and so we have to guess out of the three which one's the fake one.
Two of them will
Okay.
be real tweets. One of them will be fake.
Okay.
So, first up, we have from Donald Trump,
Oh God.
who criticized
This is going to be
Nancy.
impossible.
No, but it's hard enough as it is without
Yeah,
putting
a while
Donald
back,
Trump
I had
in the
to,
mix.
in order to make Andy and Go fake, I had to combine 3 tweets into one, and then dial it up to 11. Anyway,
Which one?
Andy and
Andy
Go,
and
once
Go.
upon a time. All right,
Oh,
so
yeah.
Donald Trump criticized Nancy Pelosi for gathering people in Chinatown after he closed the border to China.
What? Please repeat. I'm sorry you're laughing, but please.
Donald
What?
Trump criticized Nancy Pelosi for gathering people together in Chinatown after he had closed the border to China.
It sounds too ridiculous to be true, but that doesn't mean it isn't true.
It's Trump. It doesn't sound too ridiculous to be true.
All right. Next up, we have Candace Owens.
Oh no.
She says that tetanus vaccines are being spiked with sterilization chemicals.
I mean, in the U.S.
Africa, actually.
Oh,
Okay.
well, it's not that
Oh, geez.
far-fetched.
It's just in the U.S.
No,
history.
because we did that in
Mm.
Africa already. So I'm not.
But no, tetanus vaccines. You get a tetanus shot and you can no longer have kids. That's Candace Owens. All right. So
Yeah,
finally, we have Representative Matt Gaetz.
I don't know who that is.
He's a dumbass.
Wore the gas mask in
Yeah,
the,
yeah. What?
Mm. He wore a
Into
gas
the-
mask on the floor of Congress to mock coronavirus, and then he had to self-quarantine because of coronavirus. He's done a lot of really stupid shit. He's
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
but to be honest, there's a competition in your country right now for
Amongst conservatives, yes.
that. I mean,
And the latest stupid thing he did is he says that Robert Mueller knew that the Steele dossier was in.
John,
You have to repeat because you froze.
yeah, you
Um,
froze like fuck.
Okay, well, as long as I'm back now. So he says that Robert Mueller knew that the Steele dossier was part of a Russian disinformation campaign and perjured himself when Gates asked him about it. So, Donald Trump criticized
hard.
Pelosi for getting people in Chinatown after he closed the border to China.
He totally did that.
Candace Owens says that tetanus vaccines are being spiked with sterilization chemicals. And Matt Gaetz has accused Robert Mueller of committing a felony.
Okay, Corey, as our guest, you get to choose first. Which one is fake? Well, fake. Altered.
Which one have I altered?
I'm going to go with the Donald Trump one.
You think that one's fake?
I'm going to go with the
Okay.
Donald Trump one.
That's a good tactic because like we were thinking like, oh, this must be the obvious fake one, and one time it was like true. No, seriously, all of us, including people in the chat, thought no way that like Richard Spencer like is like endorses Marilyn Williamson for president. No, that was seriously true. Anyway, back to the so which one is it?
All right,
Yeah, go on.
Jonathan, which one do you think?
I'm gonna go with the the Matt Gates one. That's the one that's altered.
Okay, Jonathan takes
Okay,
its
but
Gates.
well, I'm going to go with Candace Owens then.
Okay.
One of each.
Honestly, I don't know. So they all sound fake, and at the same time, they all sound not fake.
Mhm.
All right, so we might as well take them in order.
I mean,
Donald-
Candace Owens makes kind of sense for once. So
All right, so
I don't know.
in order, first up we have Donald Trump. Quoting from his tweet, "Crazy Nancy Pelosi deleted this from her Twitter account. She wanted everyone to pack into Chinatown long after I closed the border to China. Based on her statement, she is responsible for many deaths. She's an incompetent third-rate politician."
So it's true.
It's true. Donald
So
Trump.
it's
Yeah, I honestly,
He's from a city with a very famous Chinatown, and he doesn't realize Chinatown's not in China.
I mean, he's evil, but on top of that, he's a moron.
Mm-hmm.
That's some people think it's an act. It's not an act. That man is uneducated and stupid and proud of it.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Candace Owens.
Oh, that's
Quoting from
me.
her tweet, "One of my favorite things is Snope rating something as false and being completely unable to explain why they are rating it false. Read their take on Catholic bishops in Kenya coming forward about African women being sterilized by Bill Gates' vaccinations." She does believe that tetanus vaccines have sterilization chemicals in them. She's accusing Bill Gates of sterilizing women in Africa.
Okay.
Okay.
Which means that Jonathan wins it this week. Matt Gates
Go
did.
on, say it, Jonathan.
I guess correctly.
You
but
are
it's just
allowed. Say it. Say it.
Are you going to pressure me into saying it? I'm an anarchist. You can't tell me what to do.
I'm not your real mom, I know.
Julie usually loves the gloat that she won. So, or anyone that lost, going in your butt, in your butt, in your butt, in your butt, and she wants me to do that. But it's just like
I just thought you wanted to, but you didn't. But
So, what Gates actually said, "I asked Robert Mueller directly whether or not the Steele dossier was part of the Russian disinformation campaign. He said it was not his purview. Either he perjured himself or the FBI withheld information from Robert Mueller." So he didn't actually accuse Mueller of
David,
perjury.
he
He
says,
suggested that was one of the possibilities.
David says he's a complete genius. That man has been playing the role of village idiot since birth. About Trump.
yeah, that's about Trump. Yeah.
I love the expression village idiot
Village idiot.
because it was an actual profession.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
The-
Oh my god.
There was village, not in villages, in castles with lords and stuff like that. There was a guy that was paid to be an idiot,
Mhm.
and so people could make fun of him. That's kind of awful,
Yes.
but I'd do that, honestly. Depends on the pay. Depends on the pay.
Yeah.
But I've known more difficult and more let's say demeaning jobs.
Fast food worker.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Joe McClory, if you have a socialism question, if you have the time, yeah, we have the time, yeah, because we've only done an hour, and we usually do two or three. So yes,
Corey, how long do you think you're going to stay?
I've heard the baby crying a couple times, so I think I should probably go.
Okay.
All right.
Mm. Oh yeah,
Take off whenever you want. Don't feel free to, or don't feel compelled to stay around.
Your parents, so that's a more important
That's
thing.
my
to do.
easy out, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for having me, guys. It's
It was great to have you.
really appreciate it.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to your YouTube channels and
Mhm.
see
The-
what you're going to put out there. Yeah, your partner is cool.
Yeah, she's really cool.
And totally famous because she has blue hair.
Corey
and
is
pink
in
hair.
love. Corey is in love. I'll take
Right
care
on.
of the
Baby.
Bye, baby. Bye, Corey. Bye, baby. Why say bye, baby? I was just like,
baby, bye.
Mehmet is going to be jealous.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Anytime, Corey. Bye-bye.
Bye.
bye. Okay, so Jumbo has a question about like socialism.
Well,
Hey,
do you want to come on stream, Joe, to ask your questions?
Yeah. I mean, we can definitely do that because, like, we honestly don't have like anything else like planned. We have a Google Doc for like topics, but we rarely go to that. Honestly,
No.
Well,
We
like
never
we
do.
are three, so
we
we can afford to have guests.
Mhm.
Exactly, because like, not that like the three of us can fill like hours of like content, but then again, it's mostly just us getting about like whatever. So,
What
Joe McClory, if
did you
wanna come on-
miss, Mehmet? Oh, the Jaro thing. Jonathan said bye, baby, to Corey.
Okay, so Joe says sure. Joe, I will send you the Zoom link on Facebook.
Yeah, that's if we're going to talk about and answer questions about anarchism. I reckon it's easier done in vocal.
What's that?
What?
What?
Sorry, I was just
Certain
reading
fun.
about a mega drought in the West. That's apparently going to
A what?
ruining it. There's a drought emerging in the western U.S. So
What's
we
a
are
drought?
no
Oh, a
water.
drought. Okay,
Drought.
it's when you don't have water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we've been in drought conditions all over the U.S. for decades now, but
Yeah, in California, I know it's a big problem, but
California and Texas, Florida, Georgia, basically everywhere, because there's this there's this change happening in the climate. Don't know if you've heard about it. It's making everything bad. And
we
there is
can't
Joe.
stream video with Discord, Ruth. We used to use the Discord, but
we couldn't do video, and this makes it more interesting to look at on the YouTube.
hi, Joe.
Mhm. Hello. Okay, you just go down to make sure that like his things are working.
Uh-oh,
Well, we can't hear
him.
you. So go down to the corner and where you make sure that like you're not mute or like it.
He is not muted.
So make sure it's pulling audio from the like, correct microphone. Yes, Mehmet, you're an anarchist and down with sharing and stuff like that. And we had you on before.
No, sharing you.
Oh, okay.
Is that better now?
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yay!
Yeah, there was for some reason it didn't automatically join with audio. Just
Yeah, no, Zoom is shite. Anyways,
I think
which is weird because you guys haven't. I've been on Zoom with Shive's Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not going on Steve's Hangout anymore.
I still will. Why not?
I haven't gone since talk about Me Too and all the guys speaking over me. Fuck it. I'm
my
not doing
goodness.
that. I'm not doing that.
I just turned off the YouTube one because it was like
You
not
heard yourself?
synced up, and it
Yeah,
was
it's about 30 seconds
it was
behind.
bad.
It'll
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute, I just heard that, but that was just said, and this is now. When will then be now? Soon.
Mehmet says be right back, getting more wine. And Ruth says, getting more vodka now that you mention it.
It's noon where I am, so I'm not drinking. I'll drink later because I'm invited over to a friend's house for anime. But anyway, on to your question, Joe McClure.
Yeah, I haven't made time to go into all of the theory text, I guess, would be what you're talking
is
about.
Overrated anyways.
Yeah, there's only about a century's worth of writing on this shit.
Discussion is better.
Mm-hmm.
It's more current.
So, what do you call it? My question was essentially, is there a term for somebody who generally shares the anarchist belief that there should be no unjustifiable hierarchies, but believes that should be achieved not by disestablishing hierarchies, but by making sure that all hierarchies that exist are justifiable?
That's an and
essentially by making the state accountable to its people and making sure that it never has the power to abuse power.
Yeah, that'd be coming at anarchism, I think, from another direction. Finding ways to hold the state accountable might be a way to
or you're thinking more along the lines of that's more of a method of accomplishing anarchism as opposed to an alternative to anarchism.
I think it's more of a left-com tactics than an anarchist one. Not Tonkies, the good left-coms.
right. Like Marxist-Leninist, Maoist is like basically the ones that have statist tendencies.
No, but there are MLs that are nice, not a lot, but
yeah, exactly. It's just like we already have the automatic problems with tankies because they say that Stalin did nothing wrong. Fuck that.
No, but they're too close to the fascists.
Hell, exactly. even the people that are even like Lenin did nothing wrong are probably too tanky for my taste.
Yeah.
Trotskyists too.
Yeah, kinda, Mehmet.
Yeah, we are kind of talking praxis.
Yeah, but like I don't know, because like actually considering the current day, that is the discussion that a lot of anarchists are having. Should we like rock the vote to get people to like elect someone like Bernie Sanders, or get people who are far more left compared to the rest of the politicians be elected? Someone like an AOC, someone like Justice Democrats, or someone who just like, or to like unseat someone like Nancy Pelosi, or unseat someone like Mitch McConnell. And so like, I think that
it's more of a gradual approach.
It's hard to say whether what the best approach is to essentially attempt to build from the ground up a third party that hopefully will replace or subvert the Democrats, or to try to devour the Democrats from the inside.
Sorry, I just looked at the chat. I'm not laughing at you, Joe. David exists. Sorry.
David Skug. Okay, so like,
I don't think America is ready for a revolution, anyways. So
yeah, that is true.
I think
we would break up into half a dozen different countries, maybe more.
Yeah, no, and
I mean, on the
also
global
the
stage,
people aren't ready. I mean,
right? The people.
When you look at the protests right now, seriously, the guys are protesting to have the right to go out during a pandemic. It's only in America.
They're protesting by blocking hospitals. Yeah.
That was the joke I was thinking about making when you were saying, "Hey Joe, what you doing with that gun in your hand?"
Yeah.
One thing I'm not doing, taking it to the state capitol and trying to force my governor to kill people.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's been like some protests that like have happened where it's just like in Pennsylvania. I think this has been mentioned on Democracy Now. There was
I didn't see you timed out that picture.
yes, but in
Sorry, Jonathan.
Pennsylvania, I think like they basically a bunch of protesters blocked all the entranceway into a government building, like the mayor's office, until they like release low offending prisoners out of or the immigrant
Hi, Marty.
in like detention centers, and to be in response to Hey Marty, in response to the COVID-19 thing, and hello Marty, it's like there are definitely some anarchists that
You are
like talk a lot about politics, because
Jonathan, you're completely frozen, freezed. I like to invent words, and we lost John.
Oh, you.
I don't know what's wrong with my internet.
I just wanted to.
No, John just like
Is that a
John
kitty?
just like walked
It is.
away to get like a soda.
Shut up, Jonathan. There's a kitty.
Her name is Spooky, and she doesn't want to get held.
Hi, Spooky.
She wanted to stand on the keyboard, which isn't okay, but she didn't want to get held.
So yeah, I think it's a tactic that makes sense in the US, but I
let
think
me
it's
say
still
one
anarchism. You asked it if there was a term for that. It's still anarchism. It's just not the same tactics. If that makes sense.
And
I don't think there's another term for.
Well, also
I'm
like-
sorry, Jonathan. Your internet is really, really shit. You're completely frozen and robotic. Say exterminate.
I'll do
Fuck
we
off and
have-
come back.
I was gonna say his
understand the
his
word.
voice is really more of a Cyberman than a Dalek.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think delete
Yeah.
would be better.
Delete. Oh boy, we completely lost you now, Jonathan.
There he is.
I'm back
He's
again.
moving
Yay! You're not frozen anymore.
I fucking hell! Like I got no messages from my computer saying that like, oh, we don't have internet access. It was stay connected the entire time.
You don't need one. You have me.
That's true. So like, I missed the part of the discussion. That's fine. But well,
Martin in the chat says exterminate.
Well, one thing is just like I'm not honestly gonna like police anyone for like you're not real anarchists if they call themselves anarchists unless they say something that I think no anarchists are not for military orders.
Yeah, there's pillars to anarchism. I mean,
or saying that there what do you call it? That there just shouldn't be a state, but capitalism's fine.
No,
yeah,
and craps. No, it's just like,
Yeah.
Feudalists.
yeah.
Feudalists. Yeah. I think we should just refer to them as feudalists.
Yes, I said freeze, mate. Ha ha ha.
Because I feel like the thing that they're just not willing to say is like, yeah, we would protect capitalism with force that the capitalists would run. So every fiefdom would have its castle guards and its dungeons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are their own private nuclear arsenal.
They're feudalists, basically. Yeah. There's no fucking
And
around
human
it.
beings are property to be managed and consumed, just like everything else.
Yes.
Human
and
resources.
you can fuck children too, because
Mhm.
apparently those two go hand in hand. I don't know what is it with hand crabs and pedophilia, but
I do remember one that I talked to 3 years ago, and he did put out that.
Sorry, ephebophilia. Sorry. Oh God.
No, like this one asshole suggested that like the LGBTQs add the P, and everyone, even right wingers, said no, fuck you, get out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thought that was a Christian. Whatchamacallit, I can't remember. Some right-wing Christian piece of shit that said that.
Rush Limbaugh.
Oh,
When
I think you would enjoy my shirt. Look at my shirt.
Very nice.
It's got cats for all of the major Dungeons and Dragons classes.
Nice.
Cats and nerdism.
Warrior
Nerdism.
cats. And wizard cats.
I have a friend that like they run this like a social media or Twitter account and like a Facebook account there in Camp Washington. Cat cosplay. They just make cosplays for their cats to wear, and
I'm not a fucking furry, and
No, not cosplay of cats.
Yes!
Cats in cosplay.
Yes!
Oh, I don't
Making
like that
cats more
either.
like people.
I
not making
don't
people like cats.
I don't like people putting clothing on their cats.
The cats are fine because they're just sitting there.
No, I know, but it makes them extremely uncomfortable. Some of them can't even walk with those costumes. I don't really like that. I get why it's cute, but
anyway, so back to the discussion.
But thank you for the recommendation. I'm not into it, but thank you for thinking of me.
They're just friends of mine anyway. We've seen movies together. Back to the conversation is like, I think that again, anarchists can like definitely have topics of like a discussion of like what's a good amount of practice, like being involved in like electorals is one thing, but holding the government accountable, I think that is something that anarchists and as well as other like social or local
That's
organizers
what we have to do always.
That's what we have to do always.
It's just that how can we do that?
Yeah. Oh, a good example. Cotton Red Nautica mentioned this for the people, the Poor People's Campaign. They did like a kind of protest where they went to the government building's house and like took it over essentially, like kind of like sat in it and stuff like that. And so they had a message, they wanted to know what they wanted to say, and they did it on like a weekend so that no one else is there and got media attention for that. So that's kind of one tactic that can be used to hold the government accountable. Are anarchists for that? Since we're also feminists and we're also anti-racist and we're also for all these other things.
Yeah, and we should all be for harm reduction.
Yes.
See you anarchists that are not for harm reduction.
Mm-hmm.
See that? It's for you.
Yeah, there are some anarchists that like don't want to vote, and it's like,
that I get, but
okay,
I don't agree with it at all. Do what you can. You know, you do multiple things.
Yeah, here's my feeling on that.
I understand why they don't. I personally don't vote, but when I vote for the trots anyways. That they do like 0.15%. They're useless. So I don't count.
You also have a left-wing party you can actually vote for, unlike in America. But Joe, you were about to say?
I agree with the sentiment they have, and it's hard, especially in places where our voting system essentially renders your vote useless on the presidential scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think the tactic of vote shaming them is the wrong one. It tends to make people more defensive.
It isn't going to make them vote anyways. So
I feel like the better tactic is, yes, I understand how electoral politics makes you feel like your voice isn't heard. I get that, being so close to having somebody who at least feels like a good compromise thing and then having it taken away by machinations of the party
Bernie?
is infuriating.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. However, I would like it if you would you should also vote for the lower races, and while you're there, it's not hard to do a little harm prevention. and just
I
like
don't
asking
think
kindly and not trying to just
I don't think
approaching
Biden is going to be arm reduction though. But
Well,
but on the local,
I'm cynical on that point. He's a fucking rapist. I can't see him doing it any good. I am physically unable.
Oh no. I'm not saying he would do good. What I feel is he is less likely to do as much harm.
For whom though? Because people who need healthcare won't see the difference between Trump and there are a lot of people who won't see the difference between Trump
but there are
and
a
Biden,
lot of people who
be honest.
Will.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is I understand why some people would say I'm not going to vote for Biden. It's so we always take the well-being of the white middle class, able middle class over the well-being of everyone else, and I understand why they are frustrated. And honestly, I share their frustration when I see people like Johanna, for instance.
Joanna Roberts.
She's going to be fucked no matter what. And do you feel entitled to tell her that she should go vote for the well-being of others? I mean, I wouldn't.
But I know so many liberals would, and it's just going to be infuriating the next 8 months.
So while I agree that I am for harm reduction, I think people should vote for Biden, especially after seeing his program, even if I doubt he's going to implement anyways. But at the same time, Trump isn't the cause of the fuckery in your country. He's a symptom.
Yes, but so many think that
Trump exists because people voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
As well as like
there were people who were willing to vote for that repulsive human being, and
there were people
who are
eager
still
to vote for him.
Yeah, it's like with Bush. The first time you elected him, okay, maybe you didn't know, but you re-elected him. For fuck's sake, there's a symptom here. The issue is here. America has a problem with white people, and Trump is the tip of the iceberg.
He's the tip of the zit.
The re-electing Bush, I definitely agree with you, but there is definitely an argument to be made for that
didn't elect him in the first place.
Didn't elect Bush or Trump. That the bad system meant to preserve slave states elected.
Then move your collective ass to change that system. That's my problem with liberals, because liberals don't want to change that system.
Well, no.
That was my big point of contention with Christie, actually, when we talked about politics when we were still friends, is that she thinks the system is fine.
Or they change the system. We have to go through the system, but like it's the electoral college. Okay, yeah, but how do we change it through the system?
Burn that thing up to the ground, metaphorically.
But if we don't want to follow the revolution, okay, but how do we change it within the system? It takes a super long process.
No, but even without, you don't need a revolution to abolish the fucking electoral college. If enough people are against it, and I think enough people are against it and are willing to move their ass and protest and strike and organize, that's something you have forgotten how to do. You need to relearn
if we were to try to strike or organize, they would send out the cops. They'd probably call it the National fucking Guard.
They do in France too. We still are out there rioting, being mutilated by the fucking cops. They sent the army against the protesters when the yellow vests were in full blown. That's not an excuse. If you want something changed, move your collective ass. You're not going to change it any other way. I know it's not. It's easy to talk from abroad, but it's the only way you're going to change things. And even little change, like getting rid of that fucking electoral college, that's honestly, that's a parody of democracy.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm getting passionate, but if you're going to tell me you can't riot because of the cops, I'm going to yell at you a little.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless we are actually able to get a significant social movement, which we just don't have right now, then
that's the issue.
Then the cops are an effective stopping tactic. You have enough people in France rioting.
That's what I mean when I say
you.
Move your collective ass. That's not you. That's your country.
A small group of protesters, the cops can effectively
shut them down completely.
But a large enough group, there's the government can't get away with
silencing. Yeah.
Can't get away with like using military armaments to shell a 20,000 person march.
No, I know, but I'm not talking about 20,000. I think there's way more people in the U.S. that are against the electoral college, but
not willing to riot.
Yeah,
exactly. No one's willing to like riot.
Yeah, but that's because of privilege and because they can afford not to riot to get rid of the electoral college. But more and more people are getting to the point where they can't afford to not riot. So
but I go on a riot, I'm going to lose my job. And
that's what you said, John, earlier. There's going to be a shift in American culture. Anyway, I don't know if it's going to shift in politics yet. But I get the feeling that more and more people in the US are relearning how to not be used like a rag by the government.
Yeah.
You are people, you deserve dignity, for fuck's sake. That's not acceptable. That system you are forced to live under is not acceptable.
Well, I think
you have to remember that you are worthy of better.
Fortunately, the thing is, like, for example, in poverty, three Americans own just as much wealth as about 160 million Americans. However, what's the problem that, like, some people have noticed? David Harvey mentions this. I think Adam Conover on his show, and everything else mentioned this, that, like, a lot of the 160 million blame themselves for their situation. And so that's why we say to Steve on yesterday, America's a far-right country, because they almost refuse to think of things in the system.
Yeah, that was cute when he said, yeah, I think America is a center-left country. And I was like, oh, God, no.
Center-left in an American mindset. And yet all of us are just like,
no, that was cute. I'm not dissing Steve. I love him.
We still love Steve. Oh, yes.
When you look at what Americans actually believe, what they want, then yes, America is center-left. America is comparable to the rest of the world. It's our political system that has shifted things so far to the right.
I don't know.
I was going to say, it's at
Americans think
at best center-right for the actual politics that are approved.
No, the politics are just that are far right.
Our politics
all
are far
the way.
right-wing.
Yeah. The people, no, I think they're not as
like the majority of Americans are
but
against the death penalty. They want gun control. They want the higher taxes. They want a pro-abortion.
And I'm not talking about Trump when I say the government is far right. It
was
the same.
About,
like from
Obama
the ground
was
up.
the same.
What do you call it? Looking at mayors and state houses, we are probably more right there than we are in the House of Representatives.
You think so? At the local?
Oh, almost certain.
I haven't paid attention though, because I'm like that kind of like terrible.
Well, that's how they arrange it. So in places like Wisconsin, when 60% of the people vote,
but
Democrat,
your electoral
the House still
financing
has,
is fucked. You need
54% of the votes.
How do
the fascists have been doing everything they can for 60 years to undo
well, but
the
how
Civil
do you
War.
expect things to be otherwise when anybody with money can control the outcome of an election? Because that's what's in France, for example. The system is not perfect, really far from it, but all elections are financed by public funds. Everyone gets the same amount, and that's it. You don't have the right to get donations from people. It's a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's, I think, more than alleviating first past the post, more than
that's
removing the electoral
reasonable.
system.
I mean,
If we could remove money from the system, it would be a lot more fair. Like that would be that would be the biggest thing that we could do to change the outcomes.
Yep.
I mean, that's why David Graeber has like always said the
American wouldn't be perfect, but
still won't be perfect. It'll be better, but but that's why David Graeber says that like the election system in America is pretty much just a bribery system because the politicians all have to get like funding somehow.
And you are kind of an exception, I think.
Oh my God, that was the thing that made me
on that front, because
probably
I don't think there's a lot of countries that function like you do. Even in the UK, that's pretty neoliberal at the European scale.
It's certainly not as bad there, but money definitely does infect the politics there. Shoot, what was that? Yeah, that was the thing that made me most sad about the way the Democratic primaries turned out, because this time we actually had two candidates who agreed to not go with the corporate money, and both of them were Warren and Sanders.
Oh.
Yeah, the Warren did a lot of.
She just went up a little in my scale.
There's a caveat to hers, as she used some of her Senate money, which was gathered in part from corporations when she first started. But when Bernie made his pledge, she went with it as well. So, like I said, there's a caveat, but she at least made the pledge.
She isn't afraid of changing her mind or changing her ways.
Yeah,
that's
Warren
all.
Was far from perfect, but she was my second choice after.
Yes,
Bernie.
exactly. Same here.
I mean, my issue with her was honestly her Native American stunt really didn't go well with me. Trump led her there like so easily, and
he
the
was
fact
the
that
bully
she wasn't
and she
for
was the nerd
Medicare
who fell
for all
it.
I don't know.
And she's okay with billionaires existing too.
She's liberal.
I think Medicare for all is the number one issue right now in the US. It's not. People shouldn't go in debt to not die or to be healthy. That's not. I don't understand how that exists. I mean, even a split system like in France would be better. I mean, here no one goes in debt for regular procedures. You can go in debt if you want to have all your teeth replaced or stuff like that, and it sucks. But you don't go in debt if you have to be, I don't know, treated for the COVID-19, for example. That's free. Well, not free, but it's taken in charge by the state. So
ambulance ride costs thousands of dollars.
So so how do so how do we as anarchists change the system that we want to have? Well, it's just like what do we do now? Maybe
I think the first order is to organize at the local scale. First of all, if you're not able to organize locally, you're not going to be able to go on a bigger scale. Unionize, for fuck's sake, unionize.
so many people are resistant to unions.
I
Because
know, but you need to try and change mind on that. That's
I'm gonna try.
because your workers need rights.
This is why I talk at work.
If they're afraid to lose their job if they take time off to go vote, for example,
Yeah.
Your election are on a work day, so it should be they should be protected for that kind of shit.
They're not.
For sick leave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You need protection for workers.
Oh, okay. Now this is happening across the board in many different places in the United States. Usually in like minority communities, the long voting lines.
Yeah, no
people,
shit.
Yeah, people have like gave that reasoning for why Bernie Sanders didn't do well in the like primaries in certain places. A lot of other reasons, I say, like 24-hour news cycle, the propaganda against him.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with voter suppression.
But yet the long lines was one of them, and people will say, "Oh, come on, just get an absentee ballot." Well, it's like, well, I'm thinking they just think they show up to the voting pools unless they've never done it before. They will think they'll just show up, wait a little bit in line, and then cast the votes and like walk out. But who's expecting 8 hours waiting lines?
Oh God, I was so proud of Wisconsin for swinging the Supreme Court thing because
that was like
the lines
10-15 point swing.
So bad, so bad in places. What do you call it? It wasn't too bad where I was. It was just infuriating that it was anything. But I have a friend up in Green Bay who had to wait over 6 hours. And I saw news reports from Milwaukee. Yeah,
amazing.
In areas of Milwaukee, they had to wait over 10 hours
down to 5. I mean,
or
polling places down to 5. I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's so obvious,
and they did that precisely to get their Thuglican on the Supreme Court, and
keep him on, but
keep him on, and he lost. By a lot.
Good. So change can be coming. So I guess we gotta continue the momentum. It can be tiring though. Especially if I just like getting tired of like all these like conversations I have on like social media. I probably should stop that. But it's so weird of like how liberals kind of like see things as it were, because like how Steve thinks that like, can we try reform instead of like a revolution? I know that he was never going to be Steve's never going to be a revolution, but it's like I want to ask Steve, wait a minute, when have we not tried reform? I mean, what's your idea of reform if we haven't tried it yet? And so I don't know. It's just like, I guess.
Was Dr. Babylon joking when he said he had a feud with you, or?
Well, the thing is, in the Askaways, Steve would have this post of like calling for questions, and that's where I would write my many essays that trunked my screeds. Yes, that Trump is now not Trump. Steve is now truncating, so I'm going to go with short questions now. But yeah, sometimes in those questions, Dr. Babylon will talk to me. And sometimes we have back and forth.
Mehmet says, "Oh shit, I love you folks. Take care. I need to slut it out. See you next week, probably. Well, have fun, I guess."
That reminds me, coffee.
Mm-hmm. I'm not engaging with Dr. Babylon anymore in Patreon and things because.
Oh, okay. Is he in the Patreon Hangouts?
Not in the Hangouts. I haven't seen him in the Hangouts, but
I've never seen him. So
yeah, I don't remember seeing him, but he has always asked the questions. And well, he said to me that ACAB is not a systemic critique of like the police; it's just a glib response or something like that. And so yes, Dr. Babylon.
I don't talk to those.
Yeah, so it's just like he thinks that I'm still an advocate of mass murder because I joke about like killing landlords.
Are you?
You want to stab them.
Why haven't you come to kill me yet? I wonder.
See, this is the knife that Jonathan is going to use to kill all the landlords.
You have a cane, Leto. That's why I haven't come over. You know how to use your cane. You hit people on those subways.
Oh, a cane. I thought you said a king.
Oh, okay.
Well,
And
you kind of
I
do.
was going to say that no, we get rid of that a long time ago.
I see where you're coming from on that, but at the same time, I also agree that there should be something to be said for attacking the system without attacking the individuals. The
We
same
don't
way.
attack the individuals.
Well,
When
I know
we
that,
say
but
all cops are bastards, we are not talking about the people, individual. That, like Jonathan said, Mr. Smith might be amazing, but Officer Smith is a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
He's not going to be able. Yeah, it's like becoming a preacher or something like that. It's a trap baited with your own good intentions.
I agree. I agree completely on that. What I'm saying
And
is
landlording is
the
same.
actual phrase is framed at the individuals and not at the system. Just because it has the term "all" in it doesn't.
Well, it's a
still
slogan.
It still individualizes
So-
it as opposed to making it systematic.
And also, I think that like no matter what I will say about like a system.
Oh
of
no,
this and
you're
that,
probably right.
that there'll be some liberals that will still take it to the individual level, and this happened recently. But there's like one
because even once we explain to them, they're still they don't they aren't interested in listening to.
I don't know. I still prefer the slogan "Fuck the police" over "All cops are bad," just because it focuses on the system as opposed to
I like "Fuck the police" too, even if it's
That's a
kind of
good
gross.
point, yeah.
But and fuck landlords, and it's a landlord that says that. So
yeah.
you know.
No matter what, there will still be there'll be some rebels that will just never can
But
see
it's the
system.
same issue we have as feminists when we say men are shit.
Right
What
about now,
the
NWA force in full effect.
Fuck the police.
Judge Dre resigning. In the case of NWA versus the police department, prosecuting attorneys are MC Ren, Ice Cube,
Hi,
and Easy
copyright strike.
Oh, copyright strike. We might get copyright
take the
claim.
motherfucking stand.
Oh my god, the what do you call it? Has anyone else seen Us? Because that was a joke that was so good that I am surprised that every horror movie hasn't stolen that joke.
Yeah, I only seen Us once.
Alexa, call the police. Playing "Fuck the Police."
Yes, that's right.
Just a bunch of people being murdered to fuck the police.
Yes.
It was very good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was a good scene. I love Us. That was a really
David
good movie.
says, I also hate Sting. It's an awful pun, but I kind of agree with him for once. So
yeah, but I don't mind Sting.
the group, the police is as bad as the band. I mean, is as bad as the actual police. But
I know messages in bottle.
listen to the fucking lyrics of the songs. They are creepy motherfuckers.
Roxanne
Especially-
definitely.
No,
they're not
Roxanne,
good, but the
is-
band doesn't
Oh my
systematically disempower people.
No, we are. Yes, but listen to the lyrics to "Don't Stand So Close to Me."
Oh yeah, there's that one.
It's about a teacher that's talking to a student. It's creepy as fuck. The pedo vibes in that song are off the roof. It's
Yeah. So okay.
I don't like Sting either.
there's also Every Step as well, but everyone knows about the creepy vibes of Every Step You Take. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh God, the Stalker song here.
The Stalker song. So
Yeah.
So how to bring about socialism? I think
In the US, you have your work cut out for you. Honestly.
Yeah, honestly.
Local work.
I enjoy the idea of the of dual power systems and using the tools of capitalism to replace the functions of capitalism by starting nonprofit businesses that in theory over time could compete with private businesses and run them out of power. Sadly, there's something to be said for the fact that because the corporations have so much corporate power, they would crush such attempts. But it makes sense to at least make the attempts and have them crushed first before just saying
there's
it won't work.
another option. It's co-ops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Co-ops,
yeah.
community gardens and such.
To run inside the frame of capitalism, co-ops are fucking amazing, because if you do good work, there's nothing any classical corporation can do.
Well, they can undercut you.
Yeah.
Yes, but you don't. A co-op doesn't function like them. They can't go and do like they do by other companies, to destroy them. Don't know how you call that, but you can do that with a co-op. There's no actions, so there's no stock. There's no stock, so you can't buy stock. And when you create a co-op, you create it with no stock, so they can fuck you over with that anyways. So maybe they can try and fuck you over with other things, but are they still able to, know that they are used to just buying stock and fucking over companies this way? I'm not sure they can. They still know how to do. I don't know. I'm an artisan, a craftswoman, and in that field, your work talks for itself.
Yeah.
If you work well inside the frame of a co-op, you succeed. Well, if you work well means if you price your stuff correctly, etc., it counts. But anyways,
I agree, but there are certain industries that it's hard to imagine being able to start a co-op that wouldn't be crushed by the competition due to the establishment of monopolies currently. It would be difficult to start a telecommunications co-op, for example, due to the fact that there's currently, what is it, 4 now? I knew it used to be 5, but it might be 4 now, cable companies.
No, but I think you can do that if people are skilled enough on networks. You can do that at home. You don't need telecommunications companies, actually. I don't think so. I think if you know how to, you can create a network of your own. I might talk out of my ass here because it's not my area of expertise, but I think I read something about that.
Well, that's interesting. I'd like to see if that could, and maybe.
Hey, Jamie,
even
get back in here and tell us how to steal the internet.
Yeah, Jay, where are you?
Yeah, where is she?
Could you build enough of those and interconnect them enough?
If you are enough people, I think yes.
You could operate the structure.
The infrastructure is already here, so.
Or would you just have to borrow the infrastructure?
Yeah, pirate the fuck out of it. Metaphorically. Metaphorically.
But that's the thing, like some of the things that we do advocate for as anarchists to do right now, what we can do right now is like, well, create these kind of organizations that are built on or run by our philosophy of like no unjust hierarchy.
Anything you think you can do yourself, do it yourself. Try, anyways.
And that way, we also can show to like other people, hey, things can actually be wrong without a boss. Things can actually be wrong without someone telling us what to do and stuff like that. So once they are able to see anarchism in practice, as it were, then then hopefully more people will think like, oh, this can work, and see how we see the world as it were. Right now, it's just like so many people just have deeply ingrained like beliefs that like, no, you need to have a boss, you need to have someone, you need to have politicians, you need to have like these separate people make old rules for us. It's just like, and
yeah, we have been brainwashed into thinking that if I don't know how to break that mindset, to be honest. That's one of my most painful shortcomings when I talk with people who are not anarchists or not as left as I would want them to. It's that I don't know how to break that mindset. I'm not very good at arguing with people. And I mean, not, I'm very good at arguing with people, but making sound arguments.
Good at arguing in a way that can change people's minds.
Yeah, I'm not good at argumenting.
You're good at arguing.
I'm very good at throwing sarcasm, and yeah, mostly, and I've become super good at passive aggressiveness too. I am. Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been struggling with. How can I change people's minds too? And I'm thinking my tactics are not that useful at times. But also, okay, we gotta remember this though as well, because Leptosats had mentioned Dumpster Fire's video series of what's next for the left, or what the left can do now, what the left moving forward, and something like that. And in that video series, in the second video,
what are you doing, John?
Working on the podcast part.
Okay. This is what we do. What he does when he's not talking and just listening.
We see you work on fucking YouTube, dude.
Yeah, I know. It opened up in the wrong screen.
I see. I wasn't paying attention to the YouTube stuff. I'll see when I watch it back, because I watch it back because they get the timestamps for all these things, and I don't mind listening to my voice. In the video series that Dumpster Fire did, What's Next on the Left, the second part, he wrote some quotes from the book Chad Solidarity, which is a book by D.B. Hunter, but it's mostly focused on the UK sort of thing. But I think some of the things that can be universal amongst other leftists and anarchists. Let's listen to the people who are most marginalized and most vulnerable in our society, and have them kind of lead things, as opposed to having. I think,
honestly, the fact that we have to repeat that again in 2020 is tiring.
Yeah.
And kind of baffling. People are less stupid than what we think, but sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
using that critical thinking is a little difficult, isn't it?
I was saying, I feel like stupid's the wrong term. I'd say stubborn.
Yeah,
willfully ignorant.
There's that too.
Yeah, mostly willfully ignorant. A lot of people will just look the other way because it's too much work. They're lazy, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, or we're just so tired about everything, just like.
And I understand. Honestly, I am tired too sometimes. Like yesterday, in the chat, I am not arguing with people. I'm too tired for that shit. I mean, especially the shit that was said yesterday. I chose to ignore it. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, and you only get 200 characters in the live chat as well, so it's kind of it's a
no. And I don't think I would know what to say to change their mind anyway. So I would have just thrown sarcasm at them. I did a little, and then I gave up. It's too much work, and it's useless work. There's nothing worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
Spending spoons and energy on something that doesn't work. No.
Yeah.
Nope. I do my bit, honestly, with anarchist memes. I think we do good propaganda for the left. And there's something I will talk about at the end during the quarantines. There's something I'd like to do and see if some people are interested, but we'll see later. We're not. It's kind of anarchistic and.
But yeah, I had a thought in my head, and where was it going?
Sorry,
it's okay. I'm trying to think, but nothing happens. Oh,
take your meds.
Well, there's that. Take your meds, people. That's it. It was mentioned on like the stream that Jamie J did on Thursday on the No Comment Chick.
The poo-poo thing?
That poo-poo thing, the Twitch stream. It was a really good stream. A lot of trans people, old trans people were just having a discussion about like many different things. One person said, in regards to like reading theory, man, I'm too tired to read theory because I'm suffering under the oppression that the theory is talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, wow,
yeah,
dude.
that's
one
why
of the
I
tools
don't.
The system uses.
That's why I don't like when people said to other people to read theory.
Well,
first of all, theory is obsolete, kinda, and second of all, not everyone can read. First of all, I'm sorry, but yeah, not everyone has the spoon to read shit like Das fucking Capital. Okay, don't read Das Capital, honestly.
No, too late. I'm reading it. I'm reading
don't
companion
you want
pieces.
To die anytime you open it?
No, I'm actually enjoying it.
Oh God, you're weird.
You're off the podcast.
Yes, I am weird person. I am reading the companion piece by David Harvey. I'm reading the.
Nope, you're done. No, you're not allowed to talk anymore.
I
don't remember if it was last week or the week before, but you guys finally convinced me to pick up Bullshit Jobs. I'm probably not going to get to it for a little while.
That's not obsolete. That's recent, and that's not really theory.
Because I know, but it's tangentially connected.
Yeah,
but because sadly fiction has enthralled me, aka there's going to be 2 new Dresden Files novels this year, and as is my will, I need to reread the entire series,
I was going
which
to
is
say...
15 books.
Oh God!
Well, there
before I could read the new ones.
Alternatively, on YouTube, David Graeber has done some talks that are like half an hour long. Half an hour to 1 hour long about bullshit jobs and debt.
The first 5,000 years, yes.
And they're really good, especially since Graeber is kind of an awkward guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really endearing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fine girl. I love him. Okay,
makes jokes that only he laughs at.
he's funny and quirky and smart, and I like people like that. So, so if you don't have time for reading books right now, but you are interested right now, maybe that would be a good place to start. I don't know.
Yeah, David Graeber talks. You just Google, just like YouTube search.
Yeah,
David
in YouTube, you type David Graeber and the book you are interested to, and there are talks that are quite short, generally 30 minutes to 1 hour, where he basically summarizes his point, and they're quite good, and you can listen to them while you do other shit. So it's not as time consuming than reading a book.
Yeah. Oh, I pretty much don't read books. I have half an hour drive to and from work, and my
you listen to your books,
that I listen to books. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I don't read books anymore.
That's a combination of, it's a good thing to do, especially when I'm tired, because it engages my brain more and makes it easier to safely drive when I am tired. And also, I may have an undiagnosed case of mild dyslexia. I suffered a lot through school, but it was never diagnosed, and the ways I suffered are common with dyslexia, and so like I'm not even sure, but
even if it's not that, if you have difficulty to read, you have difficulty to read.
I'm a slow reader, and when I read, my comprehension is much lower than when I listen. So.
Also, audiobooks are amazing because it's people reading new stories. I love it. I have the whole Discworld series in audiobooks, and that's
how many books is that?
40.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, I thought I went through a lot. Going through, what are the long series I've listened to? No, I think Dune's only like 10, even if you include
Dune is 6.
Well, I know, but even if you include the newer stuff that came out,
the Sons books.
Like 10
I
years
haven't read them, to be honest, but
they're not as good, but they're less. They have less of the problems that the Dune books are really good, but have some of the problems based on the time they come out. There's less of that in the new books, but there's also less creativity and really interesting world.
So less homophobia.
Yeah, less of that.
A little bit less misogyny. A little bit less of the Jungian bullshit.
Honestly, there's
also what do you call it? The
given the
Dragon Riders of Pern series, I want to say is like 26 books, and I've listened through all of those.
And talking about problems.
Given the time it was written, Dune isn't that filled with misogyny.
Oh no. For the time, it's downright progressive, but
Yeah, I mean the
with the
all-powerful women's order, and for the time, it's not that bad. Why are you laughing? Are you laughing at me?
No.
For the time, it's not that bad. The qualifier.
Paul Atreides is basically Hitler. Yes. Yes, Paul Atreides is a fascist, and he's not the heroes of the books. Duncan Idaho is, and kind of Leto the son, my namesake.
Yeah. Mithril, you nearly crashed while listening to Terry Pratchett in the car? Wow.
I'm not. Don't listen to funny shit in the car.
Oh man, I should read some Pratchett or listen to the audiobooks that you sent me.
But yeah, Paul Atreides is not supposed to be a likable character. Muad'Dib is a fascist.
Yes. Oh yes. Yes, I wouldn't laugh at like you, Leto. Yes, I would never laugh at you.
I thought you were laughing at me. I didn't understand why you were laughing.
Laughing with you. And at
I wasn't laughing.
I don't know. By the way, since we mentioned about like audiobooks, Audible Anarchist is an excellent podcast. It's a podcast, so you can get in your podcatcher, but there's also a YouTube channel, so like you can definitely get like the audio information.
So if any of you wanted to check out the bread book, for example,
yes. The other great books that they've like done.
It's for free on Audible Anarchist. It's a free book, anyways. If anyone wants to sell you that book, do not. It was never meant to be sold. It's free. It's free of rights.
If you're buying the book, you're buying for the printing of it, I think. If
yes,
you have physical
maybe.
Book, I suppose. So it's just like, which is why Kindle is like just taking that $1 and just keeping it for themselves, or the processing fee or something like that.
You know where I can find a good narrator on that? I tried to.
That's a problem.
Tried to listen to that, and the narrator was so monotone.
Yeah,
I know that
Anarchist,
it's a theory text, so it's really hard to. It's really hard.
On Audible Anarchist, you have listened to it.
If you listen to Lever recording,
the first chapter on Audible Anarchist is horribly narrated, but the other ones are.
Does it get better?
Pretty good. Yeah.
I may have just noped out at
the first narrator is. I honestly. He speaks
I didn't even know it was multiple narrators.
Even worse than me.
I was just thinking, oh fuck, there's no way I'm gonna make it through this book.
Well, yeah, for Audible Anarchist, the Audible Anarchist, each of the chapters or most of the chapters are done by different narrators. It's a group of them, something like that. For other books, I think it's all like one narrator as well, and that is a problem with.
Maybe, but for the Conquest of Bread, it's definitely multiple. I don't think there's two of the same, anyways.
Yes,
there's women, there's men, there's there's high pitch voice and low pitch voice, I guess.
Yeah, because I was honestly like considering picking up an Audible, but I felt weird about paying Jeff Bezos for that book.
Exactly.
Like it didn't
Exactly.
seem right. It didn't seem right.
David Skog says, I would like to hear Das Kapital as an audiobook read by Rick Mayall. I don't know who that is.
Don't know who Rick Mayall is. But
I'm going to Google it because I think I'm missing the joke.
But yeah, you're right, Joe. Many people have that problem. For some people, it's just like either the cadence or either how they sound or something like that. It's just like it's their person's voice, so they can't change it. Who is like Rick Mayall?
He's a comedian, but I don't remember in what I've seen him.
Drop Dead Fred.
He has a funny face.
Oh man, I need that so bad now. I didn't know I needed that in my life.
That would be perfect, actually. That would be interesting. But yeah, whenever like I tried, like LibriVox had a recording of like Peter Kropotkin's other book, A Mutilated Factor of Evolution. I think that's an important book to still listen to today. But the LibriVox recording of it was by a man called Enkel, or a person called Enkel, and it's just like with the audio quality that he had with the sound, and also his voice, it's the accent, he's French, I think, and it was hard to read. But I found another audio
an accent even worse than I.
Yes, but I found another audio recording of Mutilated Factor of Evolution on YouTube, and I'm going to put that audio recording playlist into the live chat. That is like really good, and I recommend.
Yeah, if you find audio recordings of any Emma Goldman book, I would be interested.
Audible Anarchist has on their website the LibriVox recording of it, which I think is like pretty good. The narrator for that one.
Yeah, there's one, but
yeah, there's one at least.
Just the one.
Just the one of Anarchist and then other essays by Emma Goldman. Yeah,
I'd like to. I was thinking about her autobiography or stuff like that. That are way more interesting than
yes.
An anarchist than her writings of theory. I don't like theory anyways. I think it's boring and outdated. Yes, even the bread book.
The Anarcho-Pact has definitely it has to remind people, listen, Conquest of Bread was written for a time. They were expecting the revolution to happen the next day because it was the 1800s and 1850s and something like that. And also kind of pointed out that it was a collection of different essays that wrote in a pamphlet in a magazine and zine.
Yeah, but I don't think we are going to change anyone's minds nowadays or convert anyone by telling them to go read theory. No one wants to read. Do you remember
that's how I converted my bowling team.
When you asked him if he was going to read The Conquest of Bread?
Yeah.
He basically said never.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised that if I discovered socialism and communism now, I wouldn't read them either. Fuck off! Go home! Sorry. An asshole on a scooter, or I don't know what.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you even yelling at?
She's French. She yells at anyone and everyone.
Yeah. Mithro, Libertarian Socialist Rants, is doing readings of Das Kapital. But
he's amazing. He was once an admin on his memes, actually.
Cameron. Yeah, but Cameron is also taking other texts and adding to what he's doing, to making videos about the production of capital. And I would love his videos so far. He has mentioned Graybird from Debt, of how no, we never had a barter system ever, and all entrepreneurs can tell you there was never a system barter that we used for hundreds and hundreds of years. Barter was just created because of capital.
Cool if you are interested by theory, because shut up, David.
The Conquest of Brioche. Yes. But what I like about how Libertarian Socialist
I'm hungry, for fuck's sake. I hate you.
If
you're interested about theory, if you're like me and it bores you, you're not going to like what Cameron does.
But like, I appreciate Cameron for his doing, because before there was.
No, I'm not dissing him. It's amazing. But
I'm saying something else. Please let me speak.
No.
There was Radiant 2 Pi, who had an excellent video series and excellent channel, even though it gets boring and into the mass about like Dust Capital and stuff like that. She changed it to Reading Radical, but she deleted her channel. So I used to recommend like Reading Radical, Radiant 2 Pi's videos, but now she deleted her channel. And so she had a great video series on the Marxian economics, which explained the math of it and stuff like that. So I hope that like Cameron with like his project, it would get into like a bit of that to explain Dust Capital as in a way it's like, this is why you're being screwed over by capital, because it's so hard for people.
It wouldn't be entertaining if you are easily bored like me.
Is well, there definitely people who are actually interested in just learning for the sake of learning.
No, but yes, it's that's why I say it's amazing. But not everyone are. I like learning, but not in that way. I like talking with people. Okay. That's how I learn. That's how I always learned. And
but someone has to like.
I think there's a lot of people like me who are easily bored by theory and talks,
right?
But who like to David, Das Kapital, the musical. I would fucking watch that. Don't get me wrong. I would watch that.
I mean, which is why like they a lot of YouTubers like to see themselves as like educators, but they know that like they have to entertain in order to educate, which is why sets, props, and like all this other stuff and production. That's where.
So what you're saying, Julie, is we need a PragerU for the left.
No.
I feel like Das Kapital the musical is just a slightly more political Les Miserables.
I think we should have Das Kapital the musical. No, but what I mean, that's why I really would like to have people who are not actually anarchists on the podcast to come more often. Well, that's why I'm being a pain in the ass, basically. Every time someone says the name for a guest and I say yes, but they're an anarchist. Yes, but they're an anarchist. Because I think a lot of people are like me and learn by having conversations or listening to conversations anyways. You know what I mean? Something entertaining, because let's be honest, we're funny.
Well, yes, and then we laugh at what David says.
So if we could have a segment that would be entertaining and informative, that would be so fucking awesome. Mm-hmm.
But
I feel like our conversation here with Joe is that. Mm-hmm. Actually, I would like to have more conversation like this. Mehmet, you're going to listen to that. I don't mean I don't want you to come on the show ever again, but we don't have conversation that are productive with you, babe. They're amazing, but you're drunk as fuck.
I was drinking wine straight out of the bottle the entire time. That one time.
No, but it's cool. But I'd like to have a conversation a little more structured, like this one, even if it's not really structured. And we have good laughs, and it's still, I think, not boring to watch, and you may learn a thing or two, I guess. About anarchism, and I mean, we talked about organizing, about co-ops, about how
community gardens.
Yeah, well, I mean,
and we had a kitten.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there were kitties too. So I mean, what's not to like? Also, I put makeup on. Look at how cute I am today.
Yes, you are very lovely, Julie. You're as you always are.
No, usually I look like shit, but today. I look cute.
Mm-hmm. And you showed off your tattoos as well.
Yeah, it's 26 degrees centigrade right now. It's 10:30 p.m. and it's 26 degrees. We are going to die this summer.
Yeah, yes. So that'll be
Joe,
about
26
mid-80s.
degrees centigrade. It's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
I was gonna say I was trying to piece that together because I know the formula because I what do you call it? I work
There's
in
no
healthcare,
formula.
and we went to a new we went to a electronic health system and our health records, and our system uses centigrade for temperatures.
Yes, like the rest of the world.
But because none of the patients know the centigrade temperatures,
Yeah,
I have to off the top of my head be like, oh yeah, what does 37.4 mean? It's like, well, that's
you have to know. Yeah.
That's 99.6, I want to say. It's like,
Well, 27 is your anal temperature, your normal anal temperature. So I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit without a fever, but
well, okay.
That's in centigrade. It's 37.4.
The Fahrenheit system is based on what temperatures humans live at. So 0 is like anything under 0 in Fahrenheit, which is let's see, that's I want to say like 10 degrees below freezing Celsius,
something like that.
Yeah,
I'm going to check. 0 degrees Fahrenheit. It's minus 17.7.
Okay, so less than that. Okay, and then 100 is right around just before a temperature starts getting dangerous. Right above where the human body should be.
Yeah, that's very subjective. So.
Well, I mean, just generally.
Yeah,
that's what the system is based
I mean,
on.
you're the first person who actually manages to explain to me how the Fahrenheit scale was created. Yeah. So kudos to you, because at least that makes a little sense.
Fahrenheit was developed to measure temperature for the human body. Celsius is a system based on measuring temperature based on
everything else.
Not everything else.
No,
water. Specifically water.
I'm
like
going.
Zero is freezing. 100 is
boiling.
Is boiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Kelvin is the temperature scale you use for measuring the universe. Because 0 is absolute
actually,
0.
It's not. We are not using the Celsius scale. We are using the centigrade scale.
What did I say? I sometimes mix up words.
But no, but I think they're the same.
They are.
The same. But I know we shouldn't say Celsius, but we say Celsius in French. But we shouldn't say Celsius. We should say centigrade. I don't know why. Yes, but we shouldn't. Oh, fuck. Anyways. There's no conversion between the two. You have to know.
I think that's just Latin for a grade of 100.
Yeah, centigrade means 100 degrees.
Fuck you, scientists. I'm an artist, okay?
That's really good. That's actually a really good naming convention. I'm not gonna lie. Like that.
The metric system as a whole is pretty aptly named.
It's much easier because there's no weird conversion between ounces.
No, but I mean aptly named. You know what
ounces and gallons and and
what you see is what you get with the metric system. That's what I like.
It's all base 10, which is far more reasonable. You have 10 fingers.
Yes.
Every human understands base 10. After a few years.
David Cox says it's called centigrade because it's hard to remember names. But actually, we remember Celsius more than we remember centigrade because we say Celsius. But
That word is really fun with the French accent. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh fuck with that French accent. I made progress. Okay.
Oh my
Your
goodness.
The
accent.
first podcast.
I'm not trying to criticize. I actually really like the sound of that word when you say it.
Which one? Fuck?
Celsius.
Oh, Celsius. Okay. No, because I say fuck a lot, so
Oh, goodness.
I was trying to use logic too. Von Reich says she's passionate French person. Stop throwing logic at her.
Oh my goodness.
I use logic a lot, actually, but
Don't throw theory at her, though.
not the same logic as people who are in hard sciences, I guess. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone says math is logic, but I am way too Cartesian of a person to like math.
I like math. That was the one subject I was good at.
Esoteric for me. It's.
I have a weird relationship with math because I can't visualize words and numbers very well. Like so basic math I have difficulty doing in my head. I can't unless it's rote memorization. I have a lot of problems with it. But on that note, like
I mean, it's
conceptual
not as
math,
if everyone has a calculator in their pocket. So
once they gave us calculators, and it's like, yeah, this is the formula for figuring out density if you know volume or solve for X. It's like I get this, like the conceptual math, the putting math, like adding math to science, like that I just got, which is the opposite of most people. Like everyone else is I can memorize a multiplication. I can memorize a multiplication table real easy.
Lefto, don't do that to me. I read
for
the
numbers
chat.
thing is.
Lefto says, in Finnish Lapland, at least there's an old-timey measurement for distance based on reindeer pissing.
Oh, based on reindeer
pissing. I'm not even surprised at that. Yeah. I have a complicated relationship with math because 80% of girls have been told that I sucked at math. So as a consequence, I actually sucked at math. Until I found a teacher who didn't think I sucked at math, and I actually graduated high school with 18 on 20. That's 90% at math. So
I really loved your phrasing because it sounded for a moment in my brain, I thought that you meant that 80% of the girls were told that you specifically, not that girls, that Lato sucked at math. Like, why would they bother? Oh, wait, no, she means women in general.
Yeah,
but in my head there was this moment.
My syntax takes some use too. I construct my sentence like in French, and sometimes it goes and sometimes it doesn't. And I do the same with words. Sometimes when I don't know a word, I take a word and in French and I try to make it sound English. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work, as our conversation about art, Big and John, can prove. So once I said I didn't like when art is consensual.
As in not in consensus.
Which in French doesn't mean that at all. So, yeah, that happened.
She likes non-consensual art.
No, I don't like when art is consensual. It's not the same thing.
She doesn't like anime art either.
That's not true. I like some of it.
Yeah, some of it's actually good, but yeah, some of it's
I
crap.
don't like 99% of it.
I don't like 99% of anime, and I'm a fan of anime.
But I was taking the piss at Jamie when I said it was not art. I'm not.
Yeah,
Is that a basic style guide, or is that more of a because anime tends to rely on some old tropes and
oh no, it's the style.
Like
it's the style of the
okay,
of
it's
the
actual
yeah.
start of the art of the style, as opposed to some of the old stuff where you would cheat and make
No, mostly it's the chins. Basically.
I know what you mean. I think it's actually a beautiful style, but
the proportions completely throw me off. I'm not talking about the eyes. I'm actually, when I draw, I actually tend.
I was gonna say if
bigger
you
eyes, but
if you were saying earlier that you were into Disney, so chances are you were into bigger than human proportioned eyes.
I'm not really into Disney art either, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have a problem with the proportions too here. I like stuff that are more realistic, but with
she likes 10-10.
No. I like stuff that are pretty realistic, but with exaggerated features, if that makes sense.
Asterix.
Can you mute yourself?
Can you give me an example? I'm trying, because that could
from
mean a few
people that
things.
are known. No. But are you on DeviantArt? Do you know DeviantArt stars, quote unquote?
No, sadly.
Okay.
I mostly just bump into that site when I'm looking for icons for my Dungeons and Dragons game.
Okay. That's
and then
I'm going to shock
there's a
everyone
lot of really good art
on the
there that isn't
in the audience right now, but it's valid.
No, I agree. It's just
no, it's because I use a word that
she doesn't like. She doesn't like the word valid.
I don't like when people tell other people that they are valid. I think it's very condescending, actually. But
it is valid not to like the word valid.
Going to DeviantArt just for icons is valid. I like, well, if you want to Google, I like, what's her name? Charlie Bowater is one of my favorite artists. Bowater. She's Jonathan, you remember the Sailor Moon artwork I sent you?
Yes, I do. Yes.
She's the one who painted it.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm checking out. I'm seeing a lot of her art and
I love her style.
Here is a link to her DeviantArt page in the chat.
And for more, I like dudes that paint bondagey things.
Oh, okay.
Like Dorian Clevenger. I don't know if you know him. He paints a lot of women as monsters. And in very tortured positions and apparatus, and it's beautiful. And another one that is more known, I guess. I have forgotten his name though, so I have to check. That's how long I haven't checked this shit.
I actually am familiar with some of the art of Charlie Bowater because she is I'm seeing the art right now. It's like, oh wait, yeah, I've seen that art. It was on a Magic card, Magic the Gathering card.
Oh, I didn't know she did that, but
Magic the Gathering hires a lot of artists. I saw like one artist at a Comic-Con because he does comics as well, and
I didn't know she did stuff
so
for
much good art.
Magic, but
the Gathering cards.
I am not surprised.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with her style, yeah.
Where the fuck are my? Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I
was actually
Royo ROYO. His paintings are really, really famous. Luis Royo. I love his style. It's basically women being fucked by monsters, though.
she also has said she likes tentacles as well.
I like that kind of shit. Yeah, I like Vallejo too.
Mm.
I like that kind of stuff. I don't know why it speaks to me. That I think in real life I would be disgusted by it, but as aesthetically I find it very pleasing. I don't know why. Maybe some trauma from the Beauty and the Beast. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like. It's kind of interesting. Like one asexual person who's actually like maybe is sex repulsed as well. It has mentioned to me, okay, for some reason the tentacle porn stuff that doesn't trigger my sex repulsiveness. And
there's no dick.
Exactly.
I'm not completely though. I can handle dicks, especially when they're in cosplay. Hint, hint. No, John. Joe once John posted a link of people doing cosplay with their dicks.
Yes. No,
it's
no,
a
the
Reddit
person.
gallery.
Yes, cosplay dicks.
It was very funny.
It was funny actually, but no, she's referring to someone who is cosplaying as a character. Then party is all cosplay, and they have their dick out. Because I have seen some of those like videos as well when it's like it's Easter or other things like that, or Halloween, of course, costumes in the Halloween.
No, but yet I find that kind of art is more. It's not pretty and butterfly like anime and Disney, but. There are some anime that I really appreciate though aesthetically. What's his name? The guy from Captain Harlock.
Oh, Leiji Matsumoto.
I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was never dubbed, or at least as far as I know, it was never dubbed. But I really liked the art style on it. It was called Gosick. It was essentially Gothic.
Oh, yeah. Wait, it has been dubbed.
Oh, it has? Okay.
But talk about the Victorian era, like the little girl with
the little girl detective.
Hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's so pretty.
Yes,
my God, that anime is so pretty.
Sand Lake.
Like I feel like the story is just okay, but the animation on it is so pretty.
The animation is pretty. I actually like the story of like a Gothic as well, but Funimation did. Like,
I'll say I didn't dislike it. I don't know.
I like the characters.
I've seen too much. I've seen too much of
bye Mithril.
Similar things, so it didn't really impress me that much.
Okay, hey, but
Beziel, that was his name. I was trying to remember the name of the artist who does Sunstone.
Who?
Anyway,
sorry. Mehmet just put a link in the chat. Beziel.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. But since Mithril is like taking off, I also have to like take off, and we're again going to go over to like friend's house to like watch anime. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Nice. So it's great to talk to, and I'm going to have shepherd's pie.
Are you not social distancing again?
Yes, we are not social distancing again because we're going to. There's just going to be a total of 5 of us in the house.
Nerd.
So I'm Summer and a Geek. I have a YouTube channel. I have a Twitter. Links below. Charity links below as well. I forgot to post them in the live chat. Oh well.
Oh, just before we go, that's it. And there's enough people in the chat. There's something I want to do. If anyone is interested to learn how to make cardboard furniture, I would love to teach you on video. So let me know on Twitter, for example.
Okay.
So it's on the description, my Twitter.
Yes, at Lipton Ono. So I'm gonna say my goodbyes now, and thank you to everyone for joining us. Thank you to Corey Johnson for joining us, and thank you, Joe, for joining us as well. It's just like fun.
Yeah,
it's
fun.
Yeah, especially since you had like questions for us about us as anarchists. And so, bye, comrades and potential comrades. Summer Geek signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep. And I have grading to do, so I need to sign off as well. So we might as well call it.
Let's all fuck off.
What sort of grading?
Grading.
He's a teacher.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lab reports.
I was gonna say that term has multiple possible meanings. I haven't heard what your job was. So.
Yeah.
He teaches chemistry to puny undergrads. Is that it?
Yep. All right.
I don't know why puny, but I felt like it.
None of my undergrads can be tall. The teacher has to be the tallest one in the room.
All right. So, yep, that will be it for today. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. Check out my D&D podcast, Dungeons and Debacles.
Nice.
All right. And with that, I will go ahead and start closing things down.